Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy.
And I'm Lucas.
And welcome back to Patched, and today we're going to be reviewing the Razer Orochi V2. And this is a wireless mouse, but it's not your typical wireless mouse because it uses batteries. And batteries, it uses either a AA or a AAA battery. So if you guys do want to get this mouse, we'll leave a link in the description box. And also, if you guys want to follow our Twitch is right over here. We play games and stuff like that on there. But yeah, let's get it started off first with the wireless capabilities. So it comes with a dingle, and it is a 2.4 gigahertz connection. So you just literally plug this into your computer and you're good to go. This mouse is not capable of charging, and like I mentioned, you either put a AA or a AAA battery in here. I take the cover off. The cover is really easy to take off. It's held in by magnets. You just open it from this little indent here on the back of the mouse, and you close it the same exact way.
Yeah, I would actually say I would actually say the fact that you can't charge it is one of the best parts about it, to be honest with you, because the battery in, let's say, the other SteelSeries mouse that we reviewed on this channel, where it was batteries, and that thing was just heavy. This thing, I mean, even with the battery, it was only about 60 grams. And that battery on the 2.4 gigahertz channel, and it does just have regular Bluetooth as well. That's an option as well. I believe it gets about 900 hours on that. I'll correct it on screen if I'm wrong there. But 425 hours with the AA battery that came with the mouse, that's not bad at all. That's a lot of time. And there's not really any RGB except for an indicator that it's on and running or pairing for Bluetooth. So that's good. You get a lot more battery life out of that. But I mean, you buy like a 6-pack of batteries and then you get like, I don't know, 425 hours of battery life per battery, as opposed to having to like ever charge it in between game. You just pop a new battery in, you're good to go.
Yeah, and it's really convenient because if you have no AA's, but you have a single AAA battery just hanging around somewhere, you can just use that as well. So that's really, really cool. And here on the bottom of the mouse, you have an option for either the 2.4 gigahertz connection or the Bluetooth. And of course, there is a off button as well. So let's go over the actual weight, right? So this plastic cover is actually like 10 grams, if I remember correctly, right? 10, 11 grams. Yeah, so 10 grams for this plastic cover. And then let's do the actual mouse without the battery, right? So the mouse without the battery is like 57 grams. And then let's just put this and then the battery on there. 73 grams. Okay, so the battery, of course, adds a good amount of weight. The battery's around 15 grams. So that kind of sucks, but I mean, I like Lucas said, it gives you a lot of battery life, and it's just really easy to switch in and out, and you don't have to charge the mouse.
Yeah, so. And the weight from the battery is shockingly evenly distributed. It's definitely more towards the back of the mouse, but that's kind of where the arch is on this guy. And I don't really mind it. I didn't really notice like it felt like there was more weight on one side or the other. It feels perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Yes. And now continuing on with the shape of the mouse, it's an egg shaped, kind of like a UFO. Reminds me of the G203 a lot from Logitech. And it's kind of like the hockey puck style. It's very, very round actually. And the arch is pretty damn high, but the length of the mouse is really short. So it feels really good to fingertip. It's not like your run-of-the-mill like really low profile, which feels a little bit different, but you can still fingertip this very, very comfortably, at least for me. And then palm grip is also actually quite comfortable. I don't know why. Like, why is it so? Maybe it's because of the higher arch, but it feels really nice to palm grip as well.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things about this mouse, because if I think about the Logitech G203, I actually did not like that shape. Just for my hand size, I just did not prefer it. That egg shape just felt weird in the hand. But yeah, this guy's actually an ergonomic mouse. I mean, it's got the other side that's sort of flared out a little bit to hold your pinky and your ring finger, and then it's got the other side where it's got that concave part where it's gonna hold your thumb really nicely. And with my larger hands even, I didn't mind palm gripping this mouse, which is the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, but your fingers do hang off the mouse a little bit though, right?
Yeah, hang off a little bit, but that never has caused me any problems while gaming.
Okay.
I would typically claw grip something like this, which is nice because where it gets narrower in the back with that egg shape, it gives me a really nice spot to hold it with my palm right there. So I actually really dig the shape of this mouse, and it kind of shocked me. It took me by surprise.
Yeah, and for me too, like I had no issues with getting comfortable with the mouse. Like right when I tried it out, I was like, yo, this is really nice, and I had no issues with breaking in like the shape or anything. So super comfortable for me and also for Lucas. I guess like most grip styles and most hand shapes will be fine. I guess if you have a really large hand and you palm grip, mouse is probably not the best option, but for everyone else, it's probably going to be a great shape.
Yeah, I would say if you're in the NBA, I would look elsewhere. Potentially,
Yeah.
Maybe you could fingertip it with like 2 fingers. You could be like this, you know?
Yes. Like Shaq. Shaq will go like this or something.
Now Shaq could crush the thing.
All right. As far as the bottom of the mouse goes, we got pure PTFE feet. You know, one on top of the mouse, one on the bottom, and one surrounding the sensor. And it feels very smooth. It feels very, very quick as well. No issues with the skates at all. If you look at the thickness, if you guys look at the close-up, it's quite thin though. It's not like a little bit thinner than average, I would say. So
yeah, a little bit thinner than average. Again,
sucks.
I've never sanded down any of my skates enough to actually get to the bottom where it becomes problematic. But if you do, new skates aren't typically that expensive, and the skates actually are rounded around the edges, which is a super nice feature. Just feels a lot more smooth on more surfaces, so you get a lot more of a consistent feel, which is nice.
Yes,
really like that. All right, so as far as the buttons go, we are using Razer's mechanical switches, so not their optical switches. They're rated for 60 million clicks. So if you're a huge optical head, you're into those optical switches on everything, keyboards, mice. You may need to look elsewhere. But the mechanical switches, honestly, they feel pretty good. They feel all right. They feel a little better than what I feel is typical.
Really, it feels pretty similar to like the Viper. So like borderline mushy. It has a little bit of like a good amount of post travel, I would say. So because of that, it doesn't feel as tactile and as like hard of a click as I would like. You know, I like the clicks from like the XM1 or like the Ultralight 2. But anyways, yeah, so I mean, it's not bad, the mouse 1 and 2, but it feels a little bit mushy, very similar to the Viper or the Viper Ultimate. As far as the side buttons go, your typical run-of-the-mill side buttons, there's a lot of pre-travel and a lot of post-travel. It does protrude out a good amount, so it's very easy to press, but they are quite small, so you do need to get used to it a little bit, and it's a little bit more on top of the mouse as well. But you know, typical side buttons. And as far as the scroll wheel goes, scroll wheel has nice tactile steps, and pressing the scroll wheel feels nice, if you guys want to hear. And then the mouse 1 and 2. So the buttons, I would say, they're not my favorite, but they get the job done. They're pretty nice.
Yeah. And as for the sensor goes, they are looking at their optical 5G sensor in there. And it feels very fast, very responsive. I've had no problems.
All right, moving on to the build quality of the mouse. So as far as the actual texture on this mouse goes, it has a very nice coarse texture. I would say it feels a little bit finer of a texture than like the Viper or the Viper Ultimate. But it still feels like grippy and has a nice little texture to it. I like this texture a lot more than the Viper, I would say, because the Viper looks a little bit more coarse and it looks a little bit cheaper. This one looks a little bit more fine, but not as like smooth as like Logitech, you know? So I really like how it looks. It has a nice shine to it, but also a nice matte look to it. You know, it's kind of weird because it reflects light a little bit, but has like that matte look. So it feels nice, it looks great. Doesn't really leave any fingerprints or anything as well, so I like it.
Yeah, no fingerprints, no residue at all from what we've noticed on here. And honestly, I used to not like this sort of like powder blasted finish on there. And now it's grown on me. Yeah. I like it. It doesn't feel as cheap as it used to, I feel like. So this definitely feels really good in the hand. Build quality is good. There's no creaking, nothing shaking inside, no rattling or anything like that. And even though you can take that top part off, and it looks like you might be able to replace the button spacers in there, so that may be an accessory that Razer sells somewhere down the line there, so you can adjust the feel of the clicks on there. But even though you can take that top bit off, just stock, it feels good still. So that's good engineering from them on that.
Yeah, and I also like the Razer logo. It looks very subtle. The lines are super thin, and of course there's no RGB like Lucas mentioned. But yeah, this mouse feels great. All right, so wrapping things up, this mouse is awesome. You know, it's only $70, and you're getting wireless capabilities. I guess if you want to recharge your mouse, then that kind of sucks. But like Lucas said, you know, it's just replacing the battery. You don't even need to recharge it. It's super quick, very convenient as well, very well built, and the shape is awesome. So I really like the mouse.
Yeah, all in all, I would use this mouse, and I still have kept it on my desk since we've received it, actually, which is kind of shocking. This is a new shape for me that I usually would never daily drive, but I've actually kept it on the desk, and I like it. Because I was playing games of Valorant, and I was kind of messing around with my friends. I was playing with the like my G Pro wireless, which is usually my main, and then I was like, I'm playing really well. Let me switch mice. which I don't know why you would do that, but I did it. And I was playing just as well with a new mouse. And I went right to the Orochi V2. So yeah, this mouse really kind of took me by surprise here. So I give it a thumbs up, and especially for that price point, $70 is not bad. I feel like I could come with a little bit more.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, it's a great mouse for $70.
Exactly. So that about concludes our review. It is patched, approved. Again, if you guys do want to get it, we'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you in the next one.